This podcast contains explicit adult content, mature themes, and candid conversations about sex, dominance, power exchange, and ethical non-monogamy. It is intended for audiences 18 and over only. Listener discretion is advised. The views expressed by our guests are theirs alone and do not necessarily reflect the views or values of the hosts, producers, or affiliated brands. The Bull Brotherhood podcast is for educational, entertainment, and empowerment purposes only. Nothing in this podcast should be interpreted as legal advice, medical guidance, or psychological counseling. We speak from experience, not credentials. Always practice consent, respect the boundaries of others, and follow local laws. If you're not comfortable with frank talk about sex, kink, dominance, or emotional power, this probably isn't the show for you. But if you're ready to step into your masculine edge and embrace a lifestyle that demands mastery, welcome to the Brotherhood.
Welcome to the Bull Brotherhood Podcast, where we talk power, pleasure, and the art of dominance in ethical non-monogamy. This is not your average lifestyle podcast. This is for men who lead, men who master, and men who leave a lasting impression. If you're here, you're not just curious. You're ready to elevate. So to all the bulls, hot wives, stags, and open-minded explorers, we see you. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Bull Brotherhood Podcast. I am the one and only Brian Morgan, the Sigma male himself, coming at you with my podcast team, the lovely Siren. Say hello.
Hello.
And her partner in crime, her husband, the philosophical one, Socrates.
What's good, John?
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are doing a continuation of last week's podcast where we had my family who are back with us tonight, the lovely Lindsay. Say hello.
Hello.
And my dog, big dog, her husband, Phillip. What's good, Phillip?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. As I said, tonight is a continuation of last week's podcast where we kind of shut it down as my boy Socrates had a bunch of questions that he was going to ask Phillip and Lindsay. So tonight, I'm going to turn it over to Socrates and Siren. I'm kind of taking a night off, but I'll be here though to answer and to tune in if needed. So I'm going to turn it over to Socrates. Go ahead, big bro.
Yeah, so, we were just kind of getting into Lindsay and Philip's dynamic, and, I just had a lot of questions. So first, let's kind of recount. So you guys were in a relationship where Lindsay was at work and she was having messenger conversations with a black man at her job, and Philip was eavesdropping on that, right?
Correct.
And you didn't say anything to her for a long time, right?
Oh, probably 3 or 4 months maybe of that going on.
Yeah, that's a long time to me.
Yeah, but
It's amazing self-control.
Oh, yeah.
it was like I said, it was rough for a while. I was going back and forth. Do I confront her or him, or do I just keep this going on and see how far it goes? And so, like I said, it was an emotional time because hell, we had been married for 20 years, and here she is flirting with this guy. So it's not like when you're married, you talk to other people. Hell, I've talked to other women before, but
What?
what? But not to that extent, So
Yeah, so what was going through your mind? Like, when you first discovered it, take me through what you were feeling and thinking, because, most monogamous couples, that's when all hell breaks loose, right? So take me through your thought process.
I think it was part of it was me knowing something she didn't, and that was kind of what drove it. it wasn't like a deep anger. It was more of, this is kind of interesting because I'm seeing or reading kind of like a different side of her, if that makes sense. She was, the flirting and back and forth. I could tell she was excited, which kind of made me excited because it was reawakening her. That makes sense.
Oh yeah.
And even hell, our sex life got even better during that period. Because hell, I would be thinking about her with him as us, sure.
And she didn't know that.
No. That went on for, 3 or 4 months until I finally got to a point where I kind of suspected it was going to go further than just them talking. And he was pushing it. Like he would send her links like, hey, check this video out. It was a, black dude fucking a white chick, And, I sit there and watch the video. I'm like, okay, that's pretty hot. But, it was just, he was pushing it further and further. They worked at different ends of the building. So he had no real business being at her end of the building. And he was trying to conspire with her, like, yeah, let's come up with an excuse. I can come visit you in your office and we'll close the door. And, that whole thing. And that's where I finally really got to the point of like, okay, I need to confront these two before.
Yeah, before it, before it, something actually goes through, right?
Yeah, something actually goes down. So, and that's where I showed up at her work and I texted, I think both of you guys. Yeah, I told you to come out to the parking lot. And, of course she was like, what the hell's going on? And was he like bowing up? Yeah, I can't remember.
He tried to a few times, but of course, the worst part was the fact of that he's out there by the smoke shack. So every person that works there is like hanging out, walking by, and I'm administrative staff. So I walk out and I'm like, oh shit, what the F is going down? And so I walk out there and they're talking before I even get out there, and I can see some posturing, some weird business going on. I'm not even sure. I'm like, oh my God, somebody has tapped into my.
Yeah, she knew she was busted at that point.
Oh wow.
And I didn't want to cause a scene in front of any of the employees. That was my biggest thing. Unless it had to go, you all these thoughts go through your head like, oh, I'm going to get her back. It's the jealousy part, right? Like, oh, fuck her up and get her in trouble at work, because that's where she was working. If there would be, anywhere if something like that goes on property, But I didn't go that far. I just basically told them, hey, you need to leave. Stop texting her, messaging her, all this business. And that's where the two of us, but it was every night sitting on the front porch talking, arguing, whose fault is it? That whole thing, it's whatever. And we started, we'd work through it because that's what we do, after we calm down. Okay, let's regroup, get back together and talk about this. And, what made you want to do this? I started asking her, is this something you want to try? I was like, I had no idea how people get in the lifestyle or what the lifestyle, I had no idea what the lifestyle was. I knew people out there did, extra curricular activities.
Well, and for me, it was just the new oncoming of attention. It was, I've been married for someone for 20 years. I have 4 children. I have a career. I am in a high-powered position, and oh my gosh, someone finds me attractive. What? Wait, what? So for me, that was the excitement of that someone showed me attention and made me feel, I don't want to sound shallow or stupid, but made me feel attractive or pretty. I keep going.
Yeah, and that was the same for me, that someone else thinks my wife is fucking hot, and I'm sitting there going, okay, yeah, I think that's pretty hot too. That's why I liked that attention. So, so we talked and talked and talked. And it was finally, I don't know, January, I think. Because we'd sit out on the porch and we'd be freezing our ass off because we didn't want to talk about this part of the kids, obviously. So we'd sit out there and sit around. We'd have a little fire going, on our fire pit and talk. And eventually I was like, okay, well, I'll give him a call and talk to him and say, hey, meet me here and I want something to talk to you about.
With button bullets.
Oh, she was nervous.
Sod.
She was so nervous about me even contacting. I can imagine, because they had been avoiding. I think at that point you'd been avoiding each other at work. So.
Oh God, yeah, like the plague.
So, and it's not, I knew. This is the thing is, I knew him. I knew his wife. We had met before, and his kids. So it's not like it was a complete stranger. So I was a little bit more comfortable. I said, well, hell, let's call him up and see if he's down, because I knew he had talked to her previously that he and his wife had been in a lifestyle before they had moved here. So I had a lot of questions. He may be able to answer and see if we can make this happen. So we met at a bar, and I think I told this in the last podcast, that we sat there and talked till we had 3 or 4 beers, and just because he's former military, I'm former military. Hell, we talked military most of the time, back and forth. And, I finally was like, hey, is this something you'd be willing to do? He's like, oh, hell yeah. Because he's been after her since he started working there. And that's where I was like, well, she's just waiting at home. I knew you were just nervous as hell, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the 2 years at a bar talking about me and about what I've been doing that was naughty business behind your knowledge. Yeah. And now I'm actually getting consent to do it. Holy crap. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, that's where I text her. I said, get you back here. And she got there 20 minutes later.
Well, it's kind of interesting too, because, in, the monogamous world, it's like people, catch their spouse doing something like this. They freak out. It's usually a bad ending. Whereas Philip, you were very wise, actually, in my opinion, is that you watched the situation. You saw how it could possibly benefit. You talked to your wife over, the course of time. And then, you were able to make a decision that would actually benefit everyone involved, and I'm sure, Lindsay, you probably were like, this is kind of crazy that I did something that some people would classify as wrong, and then it's actually having a positive, like, really fulfilling outcome.
Well, yeah. And then on top of that, talking with Philip, after, we kind of regrouped back, he was like, you have no idea. He was like, it's always been my fantasy to watch you with a black man. I was like, what? Okay, well, then you tell that.
Yeah. I mean, that was discussed prior to the meeting.
That kind of.
And that's why I was like, is this something you would like to try? And so I remember us talking about it prior to, I was thinking about this, and since the last time we had a podcast, I was like, when did this kind of start for me? And I can take it back to, Dad had a pile of porn mags, that you find under the bed, and Dad's not home. And some of them had, this is like 80s porn mags. There was, pictures of, black guys with white chicks. And I was like, oh man, that's hot as hell, as a teenager. And then, of course, Brian can confirm this, seeing the movie Taboo 2. Taboo 2. And then there's Black Taboo 2.
What?
Yeah, there's a black. Yeah.
Where are these in movies?
It's actually 5 taboos. Actually 5 of them.
Can I just say that y'all can complete each other's sentences when you talk about this porn? I'm just saying.
Yeah, maybe send us the link later.
That's not really a black on white one. The Black Taboo one is. And I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh man, It's hot. So it was always there for me, but I never thought it'd be a reality, and so that's what kind of led to that fantasy. But I think another problem with a lot of couples is, say one catches one cheating, immediately they're fighting and they want a divorce, and I can't believe you betrayed me. We had those emotions, but we were able to talk through that, and we knew, we didn't want to split up. I mean, we got kids, we got a good family. Let's try and make this work and try it out. If it doesn't work, then we'll figure something else out,
That's where I
So,
want to
but no,
jump
a lot of-
in. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say, a lot of people can't do that because of societal norms. You can't do that. That's wrong. This is not something that's normal. They would rather see people split up instead of staying together and doing something that's going to make them both happy.
So what's the magic sauce, brother? Like, I've sat there and watched families be destroyed because of this. What got you guys past okay, well, like you said, I'm gonna get a divorce and, take everything I got and, split up and, you start arguing with the kids, all that kind of stuff. So what got you guys past that?
So I'm going to answer this a little bit and then he'll probably pick up back into the conversation. So I'm going to tell you, I think a lot of this that helped us through it, number one is communication. I mean, like he said, we sat on the front porch. We were freezing our cojones off. We had a little heater out there. I mean, we would stay out there for hours on end talking about different things. And then listening to him, hearing his views and hearing how he felt. In my brain, as what I do and who I am, I thought I need to educate myself. I need to find avenues. I need to figure out I'm not the only person out there that has these feelings or these thoughts or these moments of feeling insecure, or maybe I feel jealous, or maybe like he feels jealous. So we started listening to podcasts, which are amazing, of course. And then I kind of jumped into the realm of listening to books on audiobooks, or what's it called? Audiobooks through Amazon. So I started thank you, Audible. I started listening to different books through there. And then when you listen to one, it will suggest another one and another one and another one. And every time I listened to one, I kind of would start writing down notes, and I would start thinking and toying with ideas and questions I would have for him. And I would say, well, listen to this. What do you think about this? I even jumped into some books that really focused on feeling jealous, which is a huge aspect, I want to say, especially for women, because feeling jealous when it comes to sharing someone that you love, you have to understand jealousy is normal. If people tell you, I've never been jealous, I've never felt that, they're a damn liar. But understanding where the jealousy comes from. What am I feeling? Where is this centered? What is it that I'm feeling insecure about right now? In this moment, what do I feel bad about for myself? And how am I projecting this upon somebody else? And how am I responding to it? So, just self-education is huge, I think, when it comes to lifestyle. I don't know. What else? I mean, take over, babe.
You weren't, neither one of you, let me say this right quick. Neither one of you were afraid to go there with each other. You didn't want to lose what you have. Okay. And you decided that, look, this is bigger than just, I'm talking to somebody else and, Philip, you listening and stuff like that. You guys both had fantasies. And you just had a window of opportunity there, and you were able to come together and be able to talk about it. Yeah, it was a little difficult at first, both, you you upset Phillip a little bit. I know you were. And of course, Lindsay, you had fucked up. All right. But both of you got together and found out that, hey, this can be bigger. You know what I mean? We can turn this, instead of a negative, turn into a positive. I really commend both of y'all for that. And like I said, it made you guys closer. It made your marriage better. And now look at you. You guys have gone from that to being in the vanilla lifestyle and now over into the hot wifing. So I commend you. I commend you both.
So let me ask you guys. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask if you guys were going to give some advice to, people that are in your situation. There's a lot of couples that start this journey with some kind of infidelity on some level. And even if it's just conversational or what they call emotional cheating, right? So what advice would you give couples in that situation, to kind of get over the hump and at least land where, you guys landed if they want to, right?
The thing that worked for us, I mean, of course, the first year was pretty rough, I think, when we first started getting into it. Because there was, obviously, like you said, moments of jealousy.
You feel insecure. You question.
Is, emotionally why, for example, there's a particular guy that we met, and it seemed like they were texting like constantly all the time. I'm like, whoa, why do you guys have to text so much? Besides, hey, how you doing? That's all you really do. I thought this was more of a physical thing, you know what I'm saying? And that took me a little while to get over, because they would sit there and chit chat about all kinds of crap, I didn't in the beginning. I was like, oh man, that needs to stop, but that's something I worked through. And it wasn't like, okay, she's going to leave me for this guy, I just really need to realize that. But as a couple, the key thing is to, if you have an experience, if you decide to do it, is seriously talk about every aspect of it when it's done, not just the physical stuff. What were you thinking? How were you feeling? When you looked over at me, what were you thinking? That type of stuff. And we had to work through that. What was the other part I was going to go to? Because, there was times we go to lifestyle events, because I would, want to hook up too, so, and she'd have a difficulty with that, seeing me like making out with some other woman. And that took her a while to get over that, so we've gone 100 miles since then. And also for an event, we would always pause. Like if we're there, we're going to do check-ins. And we learned that from another podcast, is emotional check-ins. So we say we'd be somewhere at like a house party. Okay, after half an hour, let's go outside, just you and me, talk about what you're doing, how you feeling, that type of thing. Because some people, you go to some of these events, you've seen it. Couples are just like glued to each other. Like they won't separate from each other. You can always spot them. They don't want to get out of each other's company for whatever reason.
Comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're so beyond that. We'll go to an event and
I haven't seen you for like 2 hours. So I'm like, what the hell? I just ate like 50 chips over here. Where have you been? I'm like,
we both just bounce around because we're both social animals when it comes to, these events.
yeah. And trust is a huge thing too, as well. I mean, you have to be completely open and honest, and you have to dump all the goods out there. You have to just dump it, regardless of how much you think it may hurt or how it may come across or how it may sound. You have to dump it.
Yeah.
And you have to trust a person that you love, knowing that they will accept you the way that you are. They will accept it. They will just hug you and embrace you and enclose you all around and say, it's okay. I accept you and this is okay. One thing, well, you
I was just going to show an example of a scenario that we were in. I think we'd been doing it for like a couple of years, and we were in an event, and I couldn't find her. I'm like, where the hell is she? You know, she just disappeared. And I think I end up calling your phone, and she's getting fucked. She's on the phone with me. She's like, oh. I'm like, where the fuck are you at? And she's like, I'm in the downstairs bathroom, you know, just bent over the fucking sink or what. Okay, all right. Yeah, I was like, okay, have fun. Just, I'll be out in the loft. You know, I'll be at the bar.
Yeah.
Come find me when you're done, you know. But that's something, yes, some couples, I don't think they could handle that. They would be emotionally just upset.
Distraught, yeah.
And we'd been with couples that was a hotel takeover. Lindsay was, well, I don't know how we could discuss anything, right? Okay, she's sucking his dick, right? And I'm with his girlfriend, and you know, I'm going to town, and she's over there sucking his dick, and she looks over and just flips out. I mean, she lost control.
She like rips this necklace off of her neck, and it was a necklace. Yeah, it's something he made for her. Something. The beads went everywhere. The beads were all over the bathroom. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm not even gonna make it back to my bed. I'm gonna fall on these damn beads. But went everywhere. She lost her shit.
And I think the difference between us and maybe another couple would just like, we're out of here. They hit the door and running. Lindsay actually took her into the bathroom, calmed her down, talked her, you know, you need to talk to me. What are you feeling? You know,
and I, for me, and maybe it's because I'm a nurse and maybe because it's personable, I put both my hands on either side of her head, and I caressed her face, and I looked straight into her eyes, and I said, and it was very personal because I'm very meaningful, and I don't say things I don't mean. And if I say it, I fucking mean it. That's how it is. It's so important to be that type of person. And I told her, I said, just tell me it's okay. If you want to leave, if you feel bad, like just tell me it's okay. But realize we both accept you. It's okay. How do you feel? So, but she was insecure, and she felt bad.
yeah, I think that was their first thing, and they went to a lifestyle takeover. I'm like, oh my God. You know, and we ended up talking to them. Even after the event, they called us and said, thank you for helping us with that, going through that. So,
yeah.
Can you guys share? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Can you guys share what her initial concerns were, or why she lost it? Like, was it seeing you?
It was seeing Lindsay go,
Pressuring him.
yeah, going down on him and his reaction, because that's what the thing I like.
No.
I like looking at Lindsay and seeing her face when she's going, you know, getting.
But I could do it.
But yeah, I guess Lindsay, you know, she's whatever. You know, you could ask Brian.
When I consume it down to the ball.
Oh my God! All right. And so I think they were just dating at that. I looked over and she lost control. She emotionally just broke down, and like she just grabbed it, necklace, and ripped it off, and beads flying everywhere. I'm like, I just stand back, and you know, he's like, what the? He didn't see that coming, you know. But we've been in a couple situations like that before, and you know, some people they would just like, screw that, we're out of here, you know. So,
Well, I think too when we've had, I think only one moment like that, right? Something like that. Was that the only one we had in the club? Yeah, and you don't even know that it's gonna happen. Like you don't feel it coming on. You know, maybe you want to tell it, babe, so that
I like the way you tell it.
Okay. So we were at a club that we had been to a few times and really had enjoyed ourselves. It was actually the first one we went to together. And maybe this was like our third or fourth time there. We'd had quite a few experiences. And, you know, for us, full swap has always been a little bit challenging. just finding that 4-way connection. Well, it was towards the end of the night. We kind of were like, we didn't have, it wasn't a really busy night for us that night. And then we started talking to this couple like towards the very end. And then, we're like, hey, do you guys want to go play? And so, first we focused on her and then we moved on to where we're full swapping. And man, everything was going great. She was riding Socrates. I was riding her man. Like, it was going great. Well, then the guys flipped us over. They were like mirroring each other, like I don't know if you ever seen the end of Magic Mike and they have that whole mirror scene. Like, it was kind of like that. So they're mirroring each other, positions they were putting us in. And I was face down, ass up. So was she. Socrates was on her. He was on me. It was going great. I was really enjoying myself. And in the beginning, we had a lot more rules and boundaries than we do now. And one of the things was that I wasn't allowed to say yes, sir, to anybody else. So I'm face down, like in this pillow, just screaming and yelling and whatever. And I say, yes. Socrates hears, yes, sir. And he loses it. And he starts smacking me on the side of my booty. And he's like, stop, 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 stop. And I'm like thinking, what the heck? What's going on? And then he's like, oh, just doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. And then he wraps a towel around himself and just takes off. And the couple is like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm like, well, the only thing I can think of, I said, is that maybe he thinks that I said something that I'm not supposed to, but I don't quite know what that would be. So I'm going to go talk to him. But man, I had a great time with you guys. And I'm sorry that it kind of went sideways, but like, you guys are awesome. You didn't do anything wrong. Like, everything will be fine, So they were just confused. And then I went and found him and, I couldn't really calm him down. So we just left. And, then the next day we went and got our McDonald's like we always do after we go to a lifestyle thing, and he was just upset. And the next day though, he was like, I think I just had a moment of jealousy where I realized how much I love you. And we hadn't been dating that long. We're maybe like 7-8 months at that time. Well, since we met. So we'd only been official for like 2 or 3 months. So that was just a moment for him where he thought he heard something and then had the jealousy and realized, wow, it's actually because I really fucking love this woman, not because I'm just jealous of a couple words.
And going back to what Lindsay said, I was that guy who said, I don't have any jealousy. And I would tell all these stories of like me not really tripping about it. But when I did that, like you said, you don't expect those feelings to come up in the moment. So when I saw it, I surprised myself because I never react that way. And, even after that, it's hard to get me to be jealous. So, yeah, it was just a huge indicator for me how I felt about her.
No, you're just human, brother. That's all. Okay. I don't care how long you've been married. I don't care how long you've been a bull or when you were single and you were doing what you were doing. You still are human, all right? And we all get jealous some point in time. It might not happen once, maybe twice, but everybody's been jealous. Okay, even yours truly over here.
And that's pretty much exactly what I was going to say. Is we are an emotional being. You can't really anticipate what you're going to feel in the moment. And the important part of it is like you two, after you were done, you went to McDowell, you talked about it. And that's what we do. You got to reconnect, reset, figure out, okay, what could we possibly do next time that will prevent this?
But also you're providing and you're putting in the time to reconnect in that moment. I mean, because if you really didn't care and you really didn't love each other, would you actually be sitting in a damn McDonald's with somebody? I mean, no, you do that because you love each other and you're resetting and you're reconnecting and you're saying, it's okay. I felt this way because of this and this and this and this. And we're going to talk about it it's all going to be okay. It's all going to work out, and we'll do something different next time, and just jump over the next hurdle. A lot of the things in the lifestyle are about hurdles. I really, really, truly believe that. It's about learning. It's about evolving, constantly evolving. It's about self-education. It's about communication. And one of my biggest things, and I've told Philip this a gajillion, bazillion,
I got a number.
you know what?
No.
You know what? Zip it. It's my gajillion, bazillion. So,
Well, I also like what you said about like just being supportive of that person, because I think it's worth revisiting, and it's probably something Socrates and I need to revisit, is taking those emotional breaks, because we've
yeah.
kind of got complacent at parties and different things. We're too good at splash, but it's more like I have to
Mhm.
communicate. But I think that we might need to just go back to some of those, because I think sometimes, it's just important that whatever we're feeling, that we still, like, the other person knows that, that you love them, that it's okay, like, we'll get through it together. Because sometimes I have emotional moments and I'm just like, why are these still happening sometimes? And, and it may be something completely unrelated that just like popped in my head. So, you know,
Yeah.
you guys had a lot longer together, like, than we were like, hey, excuse me, my name is Socrates and I'm Siren, and 2 weeks after we met, we just I knew about the lifestyle, and 4 months later we were in it. So I come to appreciate all the different ways that people entered the lifestyle too, and the longevity.
Yeah, I want to start getting into some of the claim, training, own things, but I wanted to, since we're doing a podcast, I want to shout out That Couple Next Door podcast. I don't know if they ever hear us. One of the reasons why I did that is because That Couple Next Door started in the lifestyle as a couple. And
Mm.
they really stressed the importance of communication, having rules and boundaries, honoring each other's, insecurities and whatnot. And I learned a lot from that podcast, as well as a lot of other ones, because I was a podcast junkie. But yeah, I just think I knew we can handle it. I knew that we could manage the complexities of the lifestyle, because I knew other couples were doing it by the time that I introduced it to her. Unless you guys want to, maybe finish up some thoughts, I did want to kind of get into the claim, train, and own from especially Philip's perspective.
No, I mean, I think we covered. I mean, as in a future podcast, if you have any further questions or things that I think of, I know I wanted to hit up on those talk, the communication, and then what helps us, because that may help a future couple.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get
So
into.
no, that's what he did talk about.
Oh, okay.
He's saying he covered it.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, you know me, I can go deep.
What is your communication style? Can you break down the fundamentals and
How deep can you guys really go? What's the depth that Lindsay and I would enjoy? Okay.
The biggest thing is, we're a couple. We're going to have our blow up. So we're going to say stupid shit back and forth, and that's going to happen. But in that you say things you don't mean, but you're actually saying things that are on your mind. So once we separate from that, talk about it, sit back the next day while we're calm, we'll talk about those things.
Process it. Give it time. Even if it's 24 hours and you're still in the same space inside the house, you make dinner, you're doing laundry, he's watching sports and football. Process it. Give it time. Silence sometimes is like fucking gold. Just let it process. Let things happen organically. That I think is a good thing too as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And don't really address it in the moment, That's where I think a lot of people, they just stay angry. It's like, no, you got to calm down. Realize, hey,
Yeah, don't even try to talk about it when the pot's boiling over. Just turn off the heat rods.
Yeah.
I'll let
It's human nature.
one time I just got dressed. It's like 2 a.m. Got in my truck and drove away. I went and parked in the parking lot for an hour.
Knowing that I was asleep and he came back.
No, you were texting the hell out. You're blowing my damn phone up.
Rude.
Where the hell are you? That whole thing. I was like, hey, before we get angry, I'm just gonna go drive away. And that helped. But that's just
It's a process. Everything is a process. I mean, but whenever I like to make this kind of like a decent point. So I think that whenever we're talking about playing in party situations or just like nuances, like you're meeting somebody new for the first time, that's different. But I think that what Brian and Philip and I have is something that's completely different. Kind of like jogging into or pushing towards that direction. It was somewhat of a difficult situation because I think that, of course, at some point in time, Philip realized that, holy crap, my wife is like really putting a lot of time and a lot of conversation into this person. And he realizes that whenever I talk about Brian, when he's not there, or when, after we are meeting up with him, I would talk about something. He could sense, because we've been married for so long, he could sense that there's a deeper connection than what I've had with anybody else in my entire life. And I will say, spinning off of that, as far as for myself, and then talking to Philip, and I think I mentioned it before, I'm a psych nurse. So understanding and how to talk to people and how to look at situations from different aspects is huge. But coming with this and talking, it is. I mean, you have to be able to look at a situation from 85 different aspects. But coming to Philip and saying, look, have you ever thought once in your life that you've only loved one person in your entire fucking life? You only love your mama? No, because you love me. Oh, wait a second. We have 4 kids. So do you only love your mama? Do you only love me? Oh, wait, you love 4 kids. Is it humanly possible to love multiple people? Is it humanly possible to have relationships with people, respect them and respect their boundaries, and understand and talk and get all this information, but understand where everybody stands, but also love people in different situations? Hell yeah, absolutely. It is completely possible. It is so damn possible, and that's what we do, and that's who we are, and that's where we are in our life.
So let's get into that. So you guys pretty much have a polyamorous relationship between the 3 of you guys. And I wanted to really dig deep into Philip's perspective on the claiming part. So, in the previous episode, we talked about claim, train, and own. That's right, Brian? That's the right 3?
That's it, in order.
And so, Philip, what's your perspective on the claiming part?
Like when Brian and I, like...
Right. So, I mean, yeah, let's dig deep. Like, I'm in the military. You're ex-military. I mean, I'm ex-military. You're ex-military. Brian served a long time. I probably served the shortest. I feel like we're all 3 of us are masculine men who are, capable of violence. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I know how we feel. I can imagine you being extremely protective of your family. I can imagine you being someone who is an authority figure, right? But now you have another man, a black man at that, saying he's claiming you guys. Like, what's your perspective on that? Tell our listeners, like, how you think about it.
Well, I definitely don't look at it as, there's different. You got your cucks, the guys that are submissive. That is not me at all. I look at Brian as we're like equals.
That's very much so. Very much so. Man to man. Exactly.
That's our relationship. Because I got to know him. I trust him. We've gone out multiple times as three of us.
My nerdy dates that I tried to make both of my men's do. I'm like, let's go axe throwing. We all sucked at that shit. I'm like, let's go do this. Let's go do that.
I hate axe throwing. I never want to go again. I hate it.
I love it.
Ugh, Siren hates the axe throwing. It hurts my shoulder.
Girl, the only great picture of the axe throwing was a picture of both of my man's asses at the same time, because I was like, I hate this shit.
Yeah, that was actually our second date, and I kicked his ass, and then after that, it was all downhill. I was terrible at it after that, and I didn't like it. So, anyways, but back to Philip.
Yeah, I think that was like first attempt to go do something. Just outside of, okay, we're going to get together. We're going to go to the hotel. This is something.
Hey, let me socialize. Go ahead. Let me say this. Socrates, do you remember when I was describing a bull, like I want to say on the Keys and Anchors podcast or something like that?
Yes, sir.
And I was saying that one of the greatest qualities of a good bull is blending in to an already loving relationship. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
That's a prime example of what I was doing, like going out throwing a damn axe with them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm blending in. I'm blending in to what, you know what I'm saying, they wanted to do. I know I sucked at it, but at the same time, I was going to throw that axe as many times as they wanted me to let them see that, hey, I'm there for you. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying the couple. I'm enjoying the time with you all. I don't care what we're doing right now. If we're throwing an axe or if we're sitting down talking or if we're whatever, it didn't matter to me. I was just enjoying the time with them. So that's what I mean by you blending into an already existing and loving relationship. So that's a part of the claiming process also. All right? That's a part of the claiming process.
Interesting.
And I think that's kind of like key to like females as well, because I will tell you another date, amazing date that we went on. We went up to, what was it, Raleigh, and you already know this story I'm telling. Yes, we went to the mall, we did all kinds of stuff, but then we ended up at Dave and Buster's. And
Dave and Buster's.
Yes. Okay. I'm a nerd. I get excited about these things and I'm like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. So Philip was so concerned because our daughter was supposed to have a friend that came over and spent the night. And he was like, I have to get home. I have to clean. I have to do this. I have to do this. He was like, I really need to go. And then as we're like sitting there eating like our lunch, and I've convinced both of them to buy me 85 freaking Dave and Buster cards to give me all the points I can get, right? Because I'm going to play some games. He's like, I've got to go home. He's getting frustrated and I can see it on his face. And he's like, I said, look, I said, just go. Go. I can feel it. I can see that you're not feeling it right now. It's okay. I hear you. You're wanting to go home to make sure that our daughter has a good hangover with her friend. And so from there, Philip leaves and I'm feeling kind of nerdy. All the games I want to play, little kids are in my damn games. I'm about to beat some kids up. Like I'm about to hurt some kids. So we walk over, we find a couple different things and we start playing games. We play a lot of games. By the end of the day, we were there for what? How long were we there, Brian?
I don't know. It was a good minute though. I was 10 years old again on a couple of them damn games. Yeah, I was whooping your ass. I forgot what the one game was, but it was like the military game. I was killing you. I was killing you. But I was having a great time though. I was having a great time.
Yeah, I was sweating. Actually, it was like, okay.
And let me stop you to say this. Here again, I'm backtracking, Socrates. What is that a part of? What do I always say I want to do with a couple? And that would not have happened had had Phillip and I had that rapport already. He knew that I was going to do what? Respect her, protect her, and then love her.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Okay, that's an example of that. You see what I'm saying? All of this stuff comes into key, comes all together when you start developing that trust, developing that rapport. Like I say, he and I knew he had to get back. I could see it in the face too. I could see that, hey, he's a dad. He wants to get back to make sure his daughters is all right, but at the same time, he wants to make sure his wife is good also. And I think that he knew, hey, I trust Brian completely, and she'll be fine with him. So here again, that's part of that respect, protect, and love.
Yeah,
And I wasn't. Yeah, in the moment, I wasn't upset with them. I was like, okay, I got to get going because it was a. Yeah, we were having fun. We had kind of had a late start that morning. By the time we got to Dave and Buster's, I was like looking at my watch and stuff, and I knew she was in good hands. So I had to beat Pete and get out of there. So,
But let me tell you, to actually look over and drag Brian into this gaming thing that was like 3D, it was like The Walking Dead. I'm in there sweating, I'm hussing, I'm hollering, I'm all kinds of stuff. I'll look over him, he goes, listen, I've never done this. I've never played video games with a woman in my entire life. I said, oh.
Was completely out of my comfort zone as far as things that I do. Was loving every minute of it, That's how I knew then that, yeah, nerdy as fuck, but hey, I mean,
in your comfort zone. And I kind of love that you're willing to do something you're not comfortable in your own for your entire life. And you've never really
my entire life, brother, has been either as a true bull or a escort. Okay. My favorite fraternity is Me Phi Me. So I didn't know anything else but me. You know what I mean? And to have not only a lady but her husband, to have a couple that I enjoy being around and being with and talking to, and somebody who actually understands like my conversations, I was like, okay, some ain't right here. All right, some ain't right. Why am I driving back to Wilson and I have them on my mind? You know what I mean? Because usually I'm one and done.
You're coming out of that comfort zone, and that's why we just a good friendship.
Well, I want to jump on top of that one. So with that being said, Phillip, with that being said, brother, like, talk to me about the training part. So is that equal thing too? Or like, how does that dynamic come into play with you, Phillip?
With me, I'm not sure. Well, does it really apply to me as far as, because I know there are certain things where
I'm gonna say I'm non-trainable.
yeah, okay.
I'm wild as hell.
No, you barely.
I'm teasing.
That's more, I think, of their two aspect. I guess so. That's something different. I don't really.
Phillip is not, he, like I said before, he's no way near a cuckold. So really the training aspect for him really doesn't apply. You know what I mean? It really does not apply.
Folks, it would apply for cuckold couples. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for the real cuckold couple, it would. For Phillip, the training aspect is him getting used to me being around a lot. You know what I mean? Not just being that one and done, but the fact that, we talk, regularly. I do see her now regularly. And just being a part. Him knowing that, hey, there's somebody else that's a part of their life. So that's the training for him. Now the training for Lindsay is the training for baby girl is different. It's different. And I've told her that I held back on a whole lot of things up until recently. All right. And here again, it's been almost 2 years now?
Yeah. Yep.
It's been almost 2 years but due to the fact that I did like her and them so much, I wasn't able to turn it on, or in my other words, open up Pandora's box all the way at first. Okay.
But no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh,
Go ahead.
That's the kind of stuff that I like, because she'll come back and like,
Exactly.
holy fuck, what did he's been holding out on me?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, what the hell happened? What did you ever, so she would dive into the details. I'm like, damn, that's fucking,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know damn well she was at one point in time she was thinking, oh, he's not dom. He's not a dominant. He can't be dominant. All right. Well, I shut her up. I shut her up recently on that one. Okay. And then I changed gears. I went from second gear to fifth as far as showing her that I'm still a porn star at my age also.
All right.
So, you know, she's starting to get the opening of Pandora's box now. And believe me, I just opened it another quarter way. I haven't opened it all the way yet. So, that's the training. That's the training. And that's all a part of the mind game also. You know what I mean? You never, ever, never, ever give her everything at one time. Never. All right. Because she will get used to that. And she will think, okay, every time it's got to be this way. Hell no. You don't give her that. All right. You tease, you play, you give a little, you take back. You give more, you take back more. All right. Then someday she will get the whole package. Okay. But for right now, though, she's still thinking like, what is he going to do next to me?
Yeah.
What is he going to do next? And that's what makes it fulfilling for me. All right. And I think I speak for Phillip also, because Phillip likes to, Phillip likes to say, I keep her on her toes. And you got to keep her on her toes 24/7. You got to, and that's any woman. You got to keep them on her toes 24/7.
And really, I'll just put this in there. She's a submissive brat. You are a submissive brat.
I think that's what Siren is too.
Yes, a submissive brat, and it's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
But I don't
That's
get punished often enough. Let me just say that. So then I'm even worse.
See, it's not so much about punishment; it's the mind control.
It's the mind fuck. That's what it is. The mind fuck. That's it.
Exactly.
I will say the mind fuck actually puts me in my place, and the mind fuck makes me realize that I need to step back and just say, hold on a second. I need to be respectful. I need to, I want to fuck. Nope, yep. I'll be okay. I need to listen, and I need to be okay. The mind fuck fucks me up bad.
Yeah, just like
The mind part
Like the other one,
doesn't work on me.
you
It's
knew
the physical
immediately?
punishment.
Well,
where she got that too.
the
She
perpetual
got both of that.
the perpetual students over here does not mind admitting that is something I need to work on. And we're going to have some more episodes. We're going to have Mr. Sigma Male over here teach us about the mind fuck. So we're going to have that episode. So we coming up on an hour here, and we're always trying to, be mindful of people's time. So I do want to finish up with the owning part. So, but I'm going to start with Unc first. Talk to me about, both of them, but, start off with Phillip's role or perspective on that as far as owning this couple.
I mean, he knows. I think now he knows that I am, and I'm gonna say a part of the family, because I called them family, and I think that he knows that I'm around. I want to be around. I don't want to go anywhere, and I truly enjoy both of them. I enjoy both of them to the fullest. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this is going, in the future. I can't say it any more than that. I can't put it any more plain than that.
Yeah, I love that. That's
And
a very
that is
eloquent.
that's the That's the owning for him. And then the owning for her is just what I said a few minutes ago. Keeping her guessing and then bringing on more and more and more, little by little by little, but intensifying what I bring to her every time now, intensifying it. So if she thinks she got a dominant version of me last Monday, I hate to tell you, sister, that was just a little plaything. Okay? So, get your popcorn ready. That's all I'm gonna say. Get your popcorn ready. Because don't say a word. Don't say a word. Don't say a word. I'm in Dom mode right now. So what do you need to be doing? Huh? Am I daddy right now? Who am I? Who am I now?
Yes, sir.
All right then. That's exactly like you. That's exactly what you need to be saying.
Yes, sir.
That's exactly what you need to be saying. That's exactly what you need to be saying. All right. See what I mean, Socrates?
Yes, sir.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It should be turned on and turned off. She should never know what's coming. She should never know what's coming. All right? Always. Never know what's coming.
So, Philip, what?
That's a part of the owning.
Sir, can you come to my house tomorrow, please?
We got dates going on here, y'all. So, Philip, tell us, got a little hot in here. Right? Well, we're excited. All right. Philip, tell us, what's your perspective on that one?
Yeah, right. This is just gonna have to be an extended version
No.
night, because man, I could chime in on some things.
So you may have to split this up with a couple episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The trilogy, it's turned into the trilogy.
Yeah.
But you know what? We should have split it up into claim, train, and own, a 3-part series.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
would have been the most organized system.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we can talking about each one of those in a separate podcast.
Right.
3 different.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. I agree.
Now the clay, or the first one, was it clown?
Claim.
That more not so much us, I guess. Like you said, it's more of the cuck thing. But but as far as what was the last one?
The owning.
Claim.
Oh no. Okay, so for
I'm gonna get you a T-shirt, Philip.
I know. I'm distracted here. Okay. The last one, as far as their interaction like that for me is, I guess, beneficial, because I see how she is. We've been in this for 5 years, and I've seen how she's reacted. I know it took me a while to realize that she's just very submissive, especially to a dominant man. And when she gets in that role, I like how she will submit. Right.
Oh, you're gonna talk about after I'm with Brian, I come home and I will lick the bottom of their feet. Like I'm not. That's me being extra, but after I'm with Brian, right? So I will come home and Philip will be like edgy, whatever. I'm like, oh, yeah. So I will be like,
You mean horny, not edgy. Horny, right?
now he's a little edgy, but I will be like over the top submissive in this house with him. He's not a super dominant person because, this shouldn't we've been married for 24 years, 24, 25, 24 years. But whenever I've been with Brian, whatever he tosses my way with the popcorn and everything else, right? But I come back in his house, and it just does something to my persona. It does something to me as a person, and it makes me want to be
A better wife.
a what?
Well, you said better wife.
And Socrates laughed his ass off. Because actually, I was really going to say that myself, but you just said it. But it does. And I've even called Brian and I've told him, I'm like, I was really nice today, even though I was feeling some sort of a way and I wanted a butthole, but I wasn't. But because I was feeling very satisfied and in my vibe, oh my God, like I would bend over and lick Philip's feet right now because I know that he loves me so much. He supports me so much, and he supports what I'm doing, and he loves me in this lifestyle.
It's kind of like a reset, you know.
I love that everyone's just being themselves. This is awesome.
For me, it's not. There's no jealousy or emotional, as I just like seeing her happy. He comes back, you know, satisfied, or
Right.
even where he holds things back, and she knows she'd get the full thing. I can see it, you know, the not anxiety, but the anticipation in this
questions.
yeah, like, oh my God, what's next? You know, that's type of stuff that's kind of exciting for me, and I embrace that, and I'm cool with it. So that kind of explains it.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll have to think about it more in depth. Yeah.
Well, we can definitely get into it more in the future for sure.
You're such a cool kid. I wish I could be as cool as you.
Well, I think we're gonna end it there. I don't know if Unc, you have anything else to say, or Siren?
No?
I think I am good. I've enjoyed listening to you guys tonight, and kind of taking the night off. But I've learned much from Philip and Lindsay and their journey. And again, I really commend you guys, and I think there should be a night where the four of you have your podcast and like invite other couples, you know, to come up here and because really they can learn a lot from Philip and Lindsay, and they can learn a lot from you Socrates and Siren. You know, so I mean that's my suggestion. What you guys think?
Like, what do you mean?
No, he means like the four of us.
Like invite another couple.
like
Yeah, the
maybe
four
like
of you guys do one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And invite another couple and just, you know, yeah, you know, I think that'd be great.
That'd be great. Couples.
Yeah, I'm down. Shoot, let's do it.
I know.
I'm
No,
with it.
I'm moving.
Okay. So we're gonna let Mr. Morgan, the Sigma male, end it out, and you know, we'll get to some. Oh, do we want to? You know, does Philip and Lindsay, you guys want to share if people want to get in contact with you, or your social media or anything like that?
Yeah, Telegram.
If you want to, you don't have to. We didn't talk about that before.
We didn't, but I'm okay with it. Sure. Okay. Our Telegram is it's pretty easy. Phil Lindsay. That's it.
And how do you spell Lindsay? Because there's a lot of different variations of that.
It's the right way.
Well, I know it's the right way, but which way?
Because I don't know the right way.
Each capital. It's capital PHIL, capital LINDSEY.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's our Telegram.
Okay. And then you guys can find us. We're going to be definitely putting all our social media and contact later. But you can definitely email us at the bullbrotherhood@gmail.com. And, you know, we'll take any questions you have, or, you know, any ideas you might want us to cover for any future episodes. But until then, we'll let Mr. Morgan close us out, and we'll have a good night.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have enjoyed another informative episode of the Bull Brotherhood podcast. I'm the Sigma male himself, Mr. Brian Morgan. And for my co-hosts, Socrates and the lovely Siren, I would like to thank my family, Philip and Lindsay, for coming back once again and just sharing their life with us. Again, love y'all so much. You don't know what you mean. You don't know what you mean to me. You really don't. And as always, we will see you again real soon. For all my bull brothers out there, good night. For all my lovely hot wives, good morning. Again, we'll see you real soon, all right? Take care. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Bye-bye.
Oh yeah, claim the mind, train the body, on the soul, deep connections built on trust. That's all go from conversations to the passion that we hold. This brotherhood's for men whose stories need to be told. This brotherhood's for men whose stories need to be told. Say it loud. This is who we are, bold, confident and seductive, dominant and classy. We stand tall, never fall. Bull brotherhood, luxury untold.